matter if they give me money, so I will fight anyone.
Is there a world where you could end up fighting Islam Makhachev at 170?
We will see who is going to be the champ there, but it's the fastest way. If the guy wins the fight, fastest way to get the fight one. Another one.
You can still see yourself going back down to welterweight, or are you looking to just stick within that?
Just focus on this fight, but after that we will see. But we always have some different plans, but we'll see what's going on.
After an incredible and dominant win at UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev has set his eyes on becoming a double champ and getting the pound-for-pound #1 spot. He hints at moving down and fighting the winner of Islam and JDM to get the second belt.
So if I was to look to the pound-for-pound list, is that a list that matters to you, and where would you put yourself?
I don't know. I don't care who does that things, so for sure it has to be #1.
Khamzat Chimaev already said that he wanted to stay healthy and avoid injuries at UFC 319 as he was looking to get another belt. Before becoming the champ, he explained that he will be ready for whatever the UFC gives him, whether it's defending the title or taking on a new opponent. When asked about a potential fight with Islam Makhachev, Khamzat says it depends on who wins between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena, noting that if Islam takes the belt, it could be the fastest way to make that fight happen.
After this fight, and you become the middleweight champion, would you rather defend at 185 or try to get another belt right away?
It doesn't matter. So I will be ready. I hope there's no injury, nothing's gonna happen in the fight. So maybe defend the belt, maybe fight somebody. I'm doing my business, so it doesn't matter if they give me money. So I will fight anyone.
Is there a world where you could end up fighting Islam Makhachev at 170?
We will see who is going to be the champ there, but it's the fastest way. If the guy wins the fight, fastest way to get the fight one. Another one.
Khamzat Chimaev also gave his take on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, calling it a good and tough fight, but leaning slightly toward Islam's side to get the win.
We'll see what's going on.
And who do you think's going to win within in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan is also waiting for Islam at 155 and has no plans to change divisions. Arman said his goal is to stay active as a champion and build a legacy at lightweight. He explained that his dedication and love for the sport drove him to push for greatness, and he believes his hard work will eventually be rewarded. Tsarukyan added that when the time comes, he will be ready to meet Islam Makhachev back at 155.
You go get this belt from Ilya, you go get the fight from Ilya, what happens next?
I'm gonna defend as much as possible. I wanna be the greatest fighter in the world because I know how I work, how I dedicate for this sport, and I know I gotta be the best in this sport because I love it so much, and I give myself to this sport, and it's gotta pay off.
You get the belt, you beat Ilya, you move up, you fight Islam. We get the fight.
I'll be waiting for him in the 155 division.
You wait for him to come back down?
Yeah.
Arman Tsarukyan pushed for a title opportunity, saying he had more complete striking tools than Ilia Topuria. He argued that Topuria relied too heavily on his boxing, while he brought a wider arsenal with kicks, elbows, and knees. Tsarukyan said he was confident the belt belonged to him and looked forward to proving his skill level to everyone.
They gotta give me this fight because I'm the next, and the next UFC champion. It's my belt.
Everybody talks about Ilya's striking. Everybody says that Ilya is something they've never seen before. But I feel you're the same way. You have striking, you have ground game, you have wrestling, you have kicking, you have everything it takes to out-counter everything Ilya throws at you. Do you think Ilya is as special as everybody says he is?
He has just one special thing. It's a boxing. That's all. It's not boxing, it's MMA. And even the striking, I'm better than him for sure, because my kicks, my elbows, my knees work always. And he does just good boxing. They can wrestle as well. So I just can't wait, to show everybody like what's my level, because I've been improving myself every day, and
Meanwhile, Paddy Pimblett fired shots at Arman Tsarukyan, mocking him for offering money to chase a fight and calling him entitled. He also took aim at Ilia Topuria, saying he hoped to get that matchup even if the rankings didn't quite put him next in line. Pimblett didn't spare Dan Hooker either, saying he lost respect for him after his recent comments and dismissing him harshly.
All I kept getting asked this weekend was who are you fighting, when are you fighting Ilia, when are you fighting Ilia. I have no idea. Hopefully it is going to be me versus the Chirizo next, and I think that's what all the Americans want, because every American I bump into keeps saying when are you going to smash that sausage's head in. I'm hoping that that gets sorted, but I understand that I am like ranked 9 or something, so other people probably are more deserving, but Posh Boy definitely isn't. Little rich boy Arman, showing how desperate he is, offering him £1 million to fight him. Spoiled rich baby, trying to pay the way out of things. That's why he quit when he was making weight in a bath like a little. Arman's irrelevant, no one cares about him. As I always say, I've got nothing but respect for Justin, but I keep seeing in interviews him saying he doesn't want to fight me. I think the only fighter makes me and Ilia. Seen Dan Hooker talk the other day as well. I used to like Dan Hooker, now you can eat.
Arman Tsarukyan fired back at Paddy Pimblett, dismissing him as overhyped and unproven. He accused Paddy of being handed easy matchups to boost his popularity, while claiming he himself had to fight his way up without shortcuts. Tsarukyan told him to stop acting out and wait until the UFC decided his next move. Arman Tsarukyan said, "You're a nobody, a trash can at most. Daddy Dana fed you a couple of senior citizens to build your hype. That's all you are, hype. I earned everything in my career. Nothing was handed to me. You bum. Now sit your goof down and wait until daddy tells you what to do." Kamaru Usman also believes giving Paddy Pimblett a title shot while top contenders wait is like spitting on their merit. He said the division already had proven names such as Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Mateusz Gamrot, and Beneil Dariush who were ahead of Paddy. Usman admitted Paddy had done well with the matchups he was given, but stressed that title opportunities should go to the fighters who truly earned them.
It's not Paddy's fault. Paddy has done a great job with the opposition he's been given to even put himself in this conversation. Paddy's done a phenomenal job. But if we're looking at the lightweight rankings, we've got Ilia Topuria, and I'm assuming next you've got Arman Tsarukyan. It makes sense. If you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, I don't know why Islam is still there, but if you're not going to do a Arman Tsarukyan, or you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, then, you know, like, yes, you've got Dan Hooker there. You've got Mateusz Gamrot. You've got all these Beneil Dariush there in front of Paddy Pimblett. So to skip all of these guys to just give him a title shot, that kind of spits in the face of the merit of the best fights the next best guy. So
on the other hand, Michael Chandler doesn't think Ilia Topuria is going to lose against both Paddy and Arman. Chandler praised Ilia Topuria as one of the most complete fighters in the sport today. He admired how Topuria kept things simple yet effective, using sharp fundamentals and smart timing to break opponents down. Chandler said Topuria's composure and ability to pick his shots made him dangerous, and predicted that he would remain unbeaten for a long time.
Does Ilia impress you?
Yes. He might be the most impressive mixed martial artist on the entire planet right now by far.
Wow. Wow.
I love that Ilia Topuria is winning titles and dominating people by being brilliant with the basics. A good jab, a hard overhand right, followed by a left hook, couple leg kicks here and there, good distance, and most importantly, patience, being comfortable in the octagon and knowing exactly when to throw the punches, know when to throw the combinations. He's impressive, man, and I don't see him losing anytime.
However, Arman Tsarukyan predicted a quick finish if he ever faced Ilia Topuria. He said his plan would be to secure an early takedown and use ground and pound, believing his elbows would be enough to stop the fight in the opening round.
How do you feel like that goes down? Like, what? I know you're training non-stop. You haven't stopped.
I'm just going there, take him down, and just TKO him with my elbows and stop that fight.
First round, second round?
First round.
Nice.
Arman Tsarukyan also admits that he is willing to face another top contender if Ilia Topuria isn't next, but only with a guaranteed title shot on the line. He points to Justin Gaethje as the fight that makes the most sense, saying a win there would remove any debate about who deserves the belt. Tsarukyan adds that while he would also accept names like Dan Hooker, the UFC must promise that a victory secures him the championship opportunity rather than booking Paddy Pimblett against Ilia.
It's the other contenders is Gaethje, who wants to fight for the title, because if I beat him, he's not gonna say anything about title or Paddy, those two names. But Hooker, he's not on the title contender. But still, if they give me those three names, I'll fight. But they gotta tell me, if you beat this guy, you're gonna fight for the title, and they're not gonna like make fight Paddy versus Ilya and me versus someone, because I wanna fight as soon as possible and then go to the title fight.
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan also shared that it will be interesting to see if Islam Makhachev captures a second title and then comes back down. When asked if Islam can beat Jack Della Maddalena, he responds that he hopes so, calling it a tough fight. He respects Jack as a tough opponent with good boxing and solid defense, but believes Islam's wrestling gives him the edge. In his view, Islam can take Jack down, control him, and finish with ground and pound or a submission.
Some big fights out there though, like lightweight all of a sudden is very interesting.
Lightweight always was interesting, and we'll see if Islam gonna get the second title and calms down, and it's gonna be more interesting.
Do you think that he'll beat Jack Della?
I hope so.
Why?
It's a tough fight. Maddalena, he's a tough dude, good boxing, good defense, and but I believe Islam has a good wrestling, and he could take him down, hold him, submit him, ground and pound, you know.
Arman Tsarukyan also gives his final take on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, saying it's a difficult fight for both men. He compliments Jack's boxing and defense, but argues that Islam's relentless pace and wrestling will play the bigger role. Tsarukyan predicts Islam will be able to drag Jack to the mat, keep control, and earn the victory.
It's a tough fight. Maddalena, he's a tough dude, good boxing, good defense, but I believe Islam has a good wrestling, and he could take him down and hold him, submit him, ground and pound, you know.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen said he's looking forward to Islam Makhachev's expected fight with Jack Della Maddalena in New York, calling it more competitive than many fans realize. He notes that while Islam usually receives the praise and recognition, this time it's Jack who carries the doubt. Sonnen finds it unusual that the champion is the one people are questioning instead of the challenger.
Islam is headed to Madison Square Garden to fight Jack Della Maddalena, according to Khabib.
We have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden, and they say yes.
It's a lot closer match than you think it is. We understand Islam. He's the most famous Muslim athlete in the world. He's going for basically a history maker. We don't question him. Jack is the one being questioned. How in the hell are you gonna question the guy with the belt?
Chael Sonnen also points out the gamble Islam Makhachev is making by stepping into welterweight. He explains that a loss would leave Makhachev in a tricky spot, since going back down to lightweight wouldn't be straightforward with a new champion in place, and building momentum at 170 could be even tougher. Sonnen feels Makhachev's team is confident about winning, but hasn't seriously considered what happens if the result goes the other way.
I mean, what an incredibly difficult position to put Islam in if he loses. Now you're going to have a choice. Are you going to run back to 55, which, by the way, isn't the way you left it? There's a new king. Or do you start reclaiming the ladder at 170? It's an interesting question. Not one that I believe Team Islam is considering. I believe they are expecting to win.
On the other hand, Jack Della Maddalena remains sure of himself, saying Islam Makhachev wouldn't be able to handle him inside the cage. He argued that Makhachev's size worked against him, while his own strength and finishing ability would make the difference. JDM made it clear he has no doubts about overpowering the lightweight champion if the fight happens.
Your first defense is most likely against pound for pound #1 in the world, the lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Talk me through about that particular matchup and what you think and how excited you are to prove yourself yet again.
Yeah, it's the dream first title defense, pound for pound #1. Get him back for Volk. We saw what Volk did to him. I'm gonna get him. He's too little. I'm gonna get him.
Islam Makhachev also acknowledged Jack Della Maddalena as a legitimate threat, praising his growth in wrestling and his impressive showing against Bilal Muhammad. At the same time, Makhachev said he remained confident in his own abilities and believed a matchup between them would end quickly, with him leaving no doubt about being the top fighter in the world.
What do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here. Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
Very soon, very soon.
Yeah.
And it's going very quick.
Former UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov also weighed in on the matchup and said Jack Della Maddalena brought a challenge unlike any of Islam Makhachev's past opponents. He emphasized that Jack's mix of size, sharp boxing, and underrated grappling made him a more dangerous test than names like Charles Oliveira or Ilia Topuria. For Khabib, the preparation for this fight would demand more focus and energy, making it a tougher and more intriguing task than Islam's previous camps.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в ислама карьере. Мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Мадалины, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Мадалена.
Javier Mendez agreed with Khabib that Jack Della Maddalena stood out as Islam Makhachev's hardest test to date. He said preparing for this fight carried extra weight for the coaching team, calling it a challenge that demanded complete focus. According to Mendez, if Islam ended up dominating, it would only be because of perfect execution in camp and capitalizing on the smallest openings. He also praised Jack's camp for being mentally sharp and fully prepared.
Yeah, I believe Khabib recently said that's Islam's toughest test. Do you agree?
I'm going to have to 1,000,000% agree with Khabib. I think this is our toughest test, and this is Khabib, and my biggest responsibility is to make sure we get Islam on tip-top shape and ready to do what we think and we believe he will do, and that's win. But it's not going to be easy. And if we make it look easy, it's because we were properly prepared, and Jack just happened to give us what we needed. But this is by no means a walkover fight. No means. This is a really, really tough fight, and we have immense respect for Jack in their team and what they can do. And so we're prepared, mentally now. Physically, we'll got 2 months before we start camp. We'll go then, but right now we're mentally prepared for what Jack brings, and he brings a lot.
Meanwhile, Jeff Neal urged Jack Della Maddalena to hold it down for the welterweights, saying it would look bad if Islam Makhachev came up from lightweight and took over the division. He acknowledged Islam's strength but questioned how it would carry at 170. Neal added that Jack's takedown defense would be the deciding factor and hoped he was fully prepared.
Who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know. We will see, because I've heard Islam strong as shit. Like, especially like when he's fighting 155, people like always talk about how strong he is for the weight class. So we'll see how that translates to 170.
Yeah.
I hope Jack's been working his takedown defense and in the weight room. You know what I mean? Don't embarrass us, dog. Don't let this 155er come up and take the belt, bro.
Who do you give the edge to in that fight?
Man, that's so hard, but I'm gonna give the edge to Jack, man. He needs to keep the belt at 170.
Okay.
Furthermore, Robert Whittaker analyzed the matchup and said Jack Della Maddalena's size and skill set could make things complicated for Islam Makhachev. He pointed out that Jack's grappling was stronger than people gave him credit for, and that his striking, especially to the body and with uppercuts, could disrupt takedown attempts. Whittaker felt those tools might present Makhachev with a different kind of challenge than he's used to.
Why does he beat Islam, in your opinion?
I'm biased as heck.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, okay? But Jack's bigger. Jack's he's a little bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu, which means it won't be free. The takedowns won't be free. Being on top of him won't be free. Not to mention, Jack has really good hands, and if he can keep it into that mid range, into that distance that he likes, make it awkward. He's very good at not only punching straight lines, but punching up. So his hooks, his uppercuts, he mixes it really well. He works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. You know, I think there's enough angles there to give Islam trouble.
However, Dustin Poirier suggested that Islam Makhachev might be better suited for welterweight than lightweight, noting his natural size and strength. He said the real test in a fight with Jack Della Maddalena would be whether Jack could keep the fight standing long enough to use his striking. For Poirier, the matchup was less about Islam's pressure and more about Jack's ability to dictate where the fight takes place.
Speaking of Islam, what's your thoughts on him moving up to welterweight?
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Moreover, Luke Rockhold looked at the potential matchup from a different perspective, saying the real story wasn't only about skills, but about how Islam Makhachev would adapt physically at welterweight. He explained that moving up in weight often changes a fighter's rhythm and pace, and facing someone as composed as Jack Della Maddalena could highlight that adjustment. Rockhold believed the key question was whether Islam's body could handle the new division against a calm, rangy striker who wouldn't be easy to rush.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. You know, I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. JDM's he's fun to watch. So, I mean, that's going to be a great fight. You know, he's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of he's secondary on that, but, you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
That wraps up everything from today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates on this thrilling showdown.